Key to a perfect party, limit it to 4 people, and use the time to get real on Film Threat Reviews. Hi, I'm Alan Ng. I'm with Zarna Kit, and today we review A One Night in Miami. One incredible night in 1964 where 4 icons of sports, music, and activism are gathered to celebrate the biggest upset in boxing history. The 4 men in question are Cassius Clay, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown. It's directed by Regina King, written by Kemp, stars Eli Goree, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Leslie Odom Jr., and Aldis Hodge. So I'll just point out that Kemp reminded me of something. He wrote Soul. So what did you think of One Night in Miami?
Oh my gosh, I loved this movie so much. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I wasn't sure. I wanted to. What drew me to this movie was the fact that it was Regina King's directorial debut. I mean, this woman is on fire. Oscar win, Emmy win, like amazing in The Watchmen. So she just like keeps getting better and more accomplished as the years go by. So it's just like, well, of course she would turn to directing. And of course she would do a stellar job at that. So I just wanted to watch this from the evolution of Regina King's standpoint. And boy, was I mesmerized by this film.
Yeah, let me interrupt you on that one. Just to get to your point, I was hesitant as well.
Wait, I wasn't hesitant. You were hesitant?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Movies that deal with certain subjects, whether it's the Holocaust, civil rights, slavery, there's this expectation that you need to like this movie because of the subject matter. Yes. And I definitely had that feeling coming into this of thinking to myself, oh, what am I going to say if I don't like this movie? Mm-hmm. And the best part about it is I actually like this movie and I liked it a lot, and I don't have to pretend to placate this narrative we have in this country where you can't criticize certain subject matters whether it's done good or bad or not. Regina King, I love her direction because this movie, for all intent and purpose, is basically a stage play. I don't know if it was written that way, but it's 4 guys talking in a very limited set.
But Alan, it was a play. I mean, I know you don't read up much before when you do these reviews, but it's based on his play. It's Kemp did a play. He's a playwright as well.
Okay, because I saw him as Star Trek, Soul, and this.
Yeah.
So having said that, it, as much as it does feel like a play, she opens the world somehow and makes each shot interesting that a lot of people who do stage adaptations don't do it. This is, if you're going to do a stage adaptation of something, of guys or people talking, Regina King seemed to have nailed it, and I liked watching this movie.
Well, I was thinking the same thing from the standpoint of like, this doesn't feel so much like a play. Now, I'm going to reference a movie that we did not review, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is also based on a play.
Yeah, August Wilson. Yeah.
Yes. Outstanding performances. That's not the point here. For me, that film felt very much like I was watching a stage play. Everything felt like I was in an audience watching the theater actors hit specific beats. And I didn't feel that here at all. And I do think, like you said, Regina she was able to open up this world beyond a 3-walled structure with us as the 4th in the audience. What she did, which is also very unique, is rather having this stage play feel like we're in an audience watching a stage, we became a 5th character. We were in the room with them at all times. Like, I felt like this wasn't a quartet. It was a quintet with the viewer as that extra person. We were there in the room listening in on these discussions and debates. We go out to the store with them. We go up on the roof with them. We're experiencing all of this, and we are in it. We're pulled right in. And I thought that made all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Now, another thing about the movie, what I really liked about the movie and the story is just this idea of these four icons who come, icons of the African American experience, especially during the 60s, to bring them together and to have this conversation. To me, all the way through it, it was like, why can't we talk to one another like this, especially people we disagree with? You know, there's points where, you know, where movies like this always seem to have a political agenda behind it. You know, this is the state of America, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, it was, here are these four men with very different viewpoints on how to fix the race problem in America. They came at it from different perspectives, and then they fought each other, and then in a way at the end comes to some kind of conclusion. That this idea that the answers are rarely in the extreme, that's usually in the middle somewhere, and then finding that common ground. And then this is kind of what I wish social media was like. You know, I wish conversations with friends used to be like, where we would talk through an issue and not have to worry about, you know, being the unpopular or saying the unpopular thing.
Well, the thing is issues actually don't get resolved amongst them. They continue to bring up issues and dissect them and discuss them and argue about them. They talk about how Malcolm X is a light-skinned Black person, so he'll never feel what a dark-skinned Black person might feel in a divided racial America. They pile on Sam Cooke for, you know, not writing songs enough about change and doing that, and Sam defends himself and says that he is. And so there are a lot of issues discussed that don't necessarily have resolution, but they are all kind of open and dissected, and those views are healthily debated in a way that really is fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, you know how there's that age-old game where, like, well, if you could invite four dead people over for dinner, who would they be? People are like, well, Jesus or Queen Elizabeth, and, well, you know, whatever. So it's like someone asked Kemp Powers, if you could put four icons together in a room, who would they be? And he's like, okay, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown. All right. And this is what they would discuss, and this is what would be said. I mean, it's kind of like that. Right. And to watch that play out was great. More importantly, we watched these icons not as icons, but as real human beings, because when they were together discussing these issues, their fame was not necessarily a priority or a topic. When they left that hotel room, like to go to the store or somewhere, or like the flashback to a concert or a fight, their fame was there. But once they got together, fame went out the window, and they were very real and they were very raw, and they just felt like you or I, who were going to delve into some real deep discussions about certain important subject matters.
Well, I think when you say that there wasn't resolution, to me, this idea of empathy, being able to understand another person's viewpoint, seeing your life reflected in that viewpoint, and have to struggle with, you know, that's, like I said, that's the whole idea of debate of, you know, you have a position, your position is challenged, and it forces you to alter and adjust your position. And that's what is basically occurring between all four men. You know, Malcolm X being probably the more polarizing, but, you know, you have, you know, even Sam Cooke and Jim Brown, both kind of in the entertainment area, but coming at it from very different. You know, Sam built a business while Jim Brown empowered people to build their own businesses. And so that's what I like about it, is that, you know, we are human beings traveling this world together. We all have our different stories, our different tales, our different journeys, but at the same time, we're all the same. And I'd love to see a story like this in other realms, whether it's feminism, Asian American issues. I am so attracted to just a good, healthy conversation, which is why I detest social media so much.
Well, luckily there was no social media during the time of this, because there would be no movie, because Malcolm X and Cassius Clay would be tweeting at each other instead of actually conversing face to face.
Yeah, I know. To me, the script, the story, there's just so much thoughtfulness to it that I was just won over.
Well, watch this movie really get recognized during award season in multiple categories, from acting to some of the below the line to possibly even Regina King. There is also one other aspect of this film that really that I feel very strongly about when it comes to award season, being that we're both in the Critics' Choice Association, is as soon as the film ends, there's a song that starts playing, sung by Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Sam Cooke. It's an original song he wrote for the film, and it starts playing immediately, and it grabs you, and you cannot stop. Like, you can't leave. You really want to hear this song, and it really touched me, and I've had the opportunity to listen to it over and over again, and I'm just not tired of it. The words, the melody, his voice. I really, really hope that it gets recognition for Best Original Song, because it's stunning.
Yeah, and Leslie Odom Jr. is really good. He gets a chance to sing, and he's just fantastic.
Hey, listen, I don't know how many actors would want to step in the shoes of Sam Cooke, but if someone's going to do it, it's going to be him.
Well, he did it. All right.
Yeah.
So you loved it. You have nothing but raves, especially for Regina King's direction and the story itself. I'm going to say you gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9. I truly feel like this is one of the best films we have circulating over award season. And you also know how much I loved Soul. I think I gave that one a 9 too. And it's the same screenwriter. To me, there are the same types of passions in there that are so very important, although two very different types of themes there. But I'm in for the win, and I think everyone should go see this movie. I think you loved it too, a lot as well. I think that you actually dared to give it a 9 too.
Yeah, I gave it a 9. Definitely, it is my favorite movie of the year. I would recommend everybody see it, and I would, especially people who, if you're entrenched in one side of a debate, this is a movie to see to get you to think that maybe other viewpoints are just as important, and maybe your own personal viewpoint will be strengthened by hearing other viewpoints as well. I believe this is a very important movie to see, especially in today's discourse. So there you go. So with that, be sure to like, subscribe, let us know what you thought of the movie. And with that, let's get out of here.